Let's talk a little bit about things that are necessary to do catastrophe claims, because that's my background. What happened is when the '04 hurricane season hit, there was Charlie, Francis, Gene, and Ivan that all slammed Florida. It was a huge year. And that's when I got my start. So I was brand new to adjusting. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I'd heard some tales. I flew into, I think it was Tampa, and the damage was down further south down the coast, on the Gulf Coast in like Fort Myers. The closer we got towards Fort Myers, the more we realized that staying right there was going to be difficult, if not impossible. The hurricane hit pretty hard, and there was not a lot of infrastructure. What I mean by that, first of all, every hotel or motel that could be had was occupied by somebody, by a contractor, by a homeowner that was displaced, by an adjuster. It was very difficult to find lodging of any kind. Next, half the places around had no power. So there's no air conditioning, there's no connectivity to the internet. How are you going to plug in your laptop? How are you going to submit claims? You know, it gets complicated. There are ways to deal with all these things, but I just want to give an example of the kind of things that you'll deal with. Trees are down, street signs are down. It gets difficult to get around. Sometimes power lines are down. Food can be challenging to find. Water. So what we quickly discovered in this scenario is that it's kind of a survival of the fittest type of thing. If you are the kind of person that can pivot and adapt, you're going to do great. And not only that, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's pretty exciting. So we ended up commuting until we were able to find a house to rent with a number of other adjusters that was real close. So I commuted all the way from Tampa. It was hours and hours, but you got to do what you got to do. And that means that we'd travel at least an hour away from where the hurricane hit to find water, to find food, and to pack our supplies in. So we would take pictures, take notes, take our photographs. Sometimes we were even eating off of the Red Cross truck, you know, just to find food. Gasoline was hard to find. I ended up buying a number of 5-gallon gas cans pretty far out of the storm area so that we always had gas, because sometimes you'd have to drive 100 miles to find gas in that particular situation. But we discovered everything was possible if you were able to be creative. I remember seeing all of these adjusters just sitting around waiting for things to come back on so they could start doing claims. And even though I was brand new, I thought, why is everyone sitting around? Let's go do something. So me and my brother-in-law and the folks that I was with, we just started doing our inspections. Even though we had no way to submit them yet, we started traveling. We made all of our calls, contacted all the policyholders we could contact, did everything we could do. We did our inspections, we took our notes, we made files with all of the pictures. We started doing the legwork. We started looking for places to stay, looking for ways to find the internet. And the end result is that we produced a bunch of claims before a lot of our, I'll call them competition, but wasn't really competition, before a lot of adjusters even got started doing claims. I was also spending my evenings learning Xactimate and studying when there was nothing we could actually do with the claims we were assigned. Oh, and one more thing, this was all out of my own pocket. So I had to, at the time, I didn't have a lot of money. A lot of this went on a credit card. The point is that with catastrophe adjusting, it's really lucrative. I mean, the amount of money I made in that first deployment actually changed the whole trajectory of my life. It paid off all my student loans, paid off my debt, and it was a huge boon for our family. But I had to spend my own money, some of it on credit cards, and I had to be innovative in order to make it work. But when it did, I couldn't believe it when I got my first paycheck after, I think, the first 2-week period. I was waiting for a direct deposit. It didn't happen, so I had to wait all the way to the second. But when I got that first paycheck, I was ecstatic. I couldn't believe that this kind of thing existed. And by kind of thing, I mean, it was fun, it was challenging, I was helping people, and I was actually getting paid doing it. I had tried a lot of things that I thought were going to have worked out financially, and this catastrophe claims adjusting deal finally did it. So I'll do another video or two about how I ended up staying on months after other folks had already been sent home from their deployment, and how I turned catastrophe adjusting into an ongoing career with claims coming in from multiple different independent adjusting companies in future videos. But for right now, there's a lot of help needed in this business. Hurricane Milton is bearing down in Florida, and it's looking to do a lot of damage. And there's, everyone's already deployed with Helene. So come to adjusterpro.com. We've got a bunch of resources. We'll help you understand exactly what license you need or licenses, and how to proceed as quickly as possible to get deployed and get out there helping people. And we'll talk about in free webinars that we have and on our webpage other resources that you'll need to be successful in CAT adjusting. And we built this business, this whole, our website and what we do to help folks succeed in adjusting. So come to adjusterpro.com, and we look forward to seeing you in the storm. Thank you.